because we have a guarantee, we have a contractual obligation to deliver the results. So for example, if we say to the client, look, this month I'm going to bring you 20,000 views. If you don't get those views, the customer is usually able to not pay. Okay, so usually you say, look, I'm gonna bring you 20,000 views across all of your shorts that I create this month, or you don't pay anything. But because you have that guarantee, your price point is much, much higher than if you're just creating a short video as a video editor. Okay, so for example, as I mentioned, a video editor might command a $30 or $40 maximum price for a 1 or 2 minute short. But if you're doing it as an SFC agency, it could be a lot more, guys. And typically you're going to be editing a lot of shorts because you're going to be working with people producing content on a regular basis. So as an SFC agency, you're going to be looking at least $1,000, $2,000 per client per month. Lower amounts than that, and you're not even an agency. So this is, guys, why the SFC agency has a big advantage when it comes to earnings, but there is a little bit of risk because you actually need to hit those guarantees if you offer them. And in this course, I'm actually going to show you guys how to mitigate a lot of those risks and how can you effectively estimate how much you can guarantee and how can you actually hit those guarantees, guys. Okay, so now let's talk about 3 different types of SFC business models. Okay, so what are those 3 different types? So the first type is when your client actually gives you a video like that. So they film it on their phone or on their camera.
Back on the market for so
they give you that video, right? And then what you do is you actually all those effects, you add all the text, you add all the music and stuff like this, guys. The second one is when you get a client who has long form videos, for example, like Chloe. So she would give you a video like that, or you actually tell her, look, I'm actually going to take one of your videos from your YouTube channel or from another source, and I'm actually going to chop your video into the most interesting pieces, and I'm going to create you a ton of shorts. And this strategy is actually very common among SFC agencies. And why this approach is so common? Because it doesn't require any work from the content creator. So for example, look at this channel. Let's say she has 77 videos. Can you imagine how many shorts you can create from these videos, guys? You can create potentially a couple of hundred shorts, right? So this creator would actually either send us the content by Google Drive, Dropbox, wherever, or we would physically download her videos from YouTube. You can just Google download YouTube videos, right? And you can paste the URL of the video and you can just download it onto your computer. And then you can create, for example, a sample short and you can send it to her and say, look, I've created a short for you. Would you be interested in having more? And I can make more shorts from just your long form content. You do not have to lift a finger, and this is going to be the price for that. Right, guys? And then the final different type of business model is when the content creator actually goes and works with a local business in their area and actually films the content, guys. Okay, so when you go into, for example, a restaurant or bar or a beauty salon or wherever, you actually film the content. You make a lot of different shorts. For example, you work with a hotel, right? You film a lot of shorts about their hotel or a restaurant or wherever. Then you create all this fancy editing around it, right? And then you give that content to them to actually distribute on their YouTube channel, on their Instagram, on their TikTok, to actually bring in more leads, bring in more customers. They can use that as organic content, or they can actually sponsor it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. It's up to them. So guys, here's the thing. Just to recap, 3 different business models. One, where the clients are giving you short form content and then you're editing from that. Second, when you're actually approaching content creators who already have long form content and then you just chop it from their long form content, meaning they don't need to actually create any short form content themselves. And the final one is when you approach local businesses in your area, right? And you actually offer them to shoot the content, edit the content, so they don't have to do anything because you're doing everything from the beginning to the very end, guys. And of course, this final one is very lucrative if you live in wealthy areas. For example, I know a guy doing just that in San Francisco Bay Area. So he works with real estate agents and he charges around $1,000 creating a landing page and shooting a house with a realtor across one day, and he does one day of editing. So within one day, he usually makes around $1,000 using this strategy. So shooting the interior and exterior of the house and making a landing page and a little bit of content for that realtor for that listing, guys. And that the realtor can use that content to sell the house, to upload it to different kind of platforms and stuff like this, guys. So as you can see, this is an extremely profitable business type, but it requires you to actually physically visit the clients, right, in person and actually have a camera and stuff. So this is a slightly different business model. But the first two we're talking about, that you can actually run from anywhere globally, right? You don't even have to be in the US, for example. You can be in any country in the world and work with US clients or UK clients or Australian clients, guys. So the next thing, how do we actually create an SFC portfolio, and why do you need an SFC portfolio? So the SFC portfolio is basically the samples of the work. So for example, if you approach a real estate agent, let's say you approach this guy, right? What this guy is actually going to tell you is, okay, sounds great. You can make me the short videos. You have a guarantee of me hitting X number of views, but how can I trust you? Where is the work samples? You know, who have you worked with in the past? And also, what can you show me? Like, what's the quality? Okay, so here's the thing, guys. This is the portfolio, roughly what you would have to show to a potential client. So let's quickly look at one of these videos in full.
So you're ready to start looking at houses. What are the tips that I give our buyers whenever we first walk up to the first store? Really, we do it before we get there. But number one is no.
As you can see, guys, this video is actually fairly simple. Okay, a half decent editor can create a video like that, but how do you actually start when you don't have clients? Okay, so the key in this point is you don't want to have celebrities on there. And here's the problem, guys. You know, where do you get the content if you're just starting out? So if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know that most of you guys are going to be using video editors. You're not actually going to be using yourself. If you're editing yourself, it's very simple, guys. You can basically get the first couple of clients, and then you're going to hopefully make some short form videos for them. And then you can actually use that as your portfolio, right? And the last thing, guys, you don't want to just take some videos from famous people, celebrities like Tony Robbins or whatever, these motivational videos, then add the text and call it our work, because people will know that you for sure have not worked with those celebrities. I'm talking about this stuff, okay? So these kind of videos are all over the internet, okay? And how they actually look, they look really good and they can showcase your skills, right? But a potential client for your SFC agency will know that you haven't spoken to these celebrities, you haven't worked with these celebrities, and they haven't paid you, okay? So this portfolio looks just as good potentially as this, but here you can see that these are real legit clients, okay? And if this guy had, for example, these kind of videos, the point is the same, but you can see that they're not your clients, okay? So guys, how do you actually get an SFC portfolio if you're completely starting from scratch? And I would recommend using Fiverr, guys.